is with us in Richland, Washington. Hey, Reed, welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Gentlemen, thanks for taking my call today.
Sure, man. What's up?
So, I'm 35. My wife's 33. Have 3 kids, 8, 3, and 1. Basically, to try to sum it up, bought our first home about 10 years ago. It was a duplex, rental property type of property. Lived in one side, rented the other out. I'm kind of a fixer-upper, sweat equity, entrepreneurial type person. Saw an opportunity at another cheap property after we were in the duplex for about 5 or 6 years. Bought this other house, fixed it up, and recently with the high market was able to sell it for a pretty substantial profit. And we moved back into our duplex after selling the other property, if that makes sense.
Yeah, how many kids you got? How many kids you got?
3 kids.
And when you said when you started all this stuff, did you have kids when you started all this stuff?
No,
back
we
in
did
the day?
not. We did not.
So moving back in the duplex wasn't as fun as you thought it might have been.
It's cozier.
That's not the word your wife's using.
But I have an awesome wife though, and she does above and beyond. During that time, me and my wife also have completed our bachelor's degrees online while I worked full time and she's taking care of kids. Mm-hmm. So
great.
It's been a process.
So how can we help
today?
Today?
My question comes in. Yeah. So we still have a remaining mortgage balance on the duplex of around $100,000 is what we owe left on it. If that, okay, $100,000. Let's round it up. We sold the other property, netted a profit after realtor fees, after everything, of about $147,000. And so we already have some money set aside that's been our, I guess you'd call it, emergency fund. It's about 3 to 5 months worth of savings. We did say things a little bit backwards. We only incurred a little bit of school debt while me working full time and taking care of the children of about $20,000.
Yeah, what's your question?
For both degrees. Well, my question is, with that $147,000, we're looking at possibly, obviously finding another primary residence in the future. We could take 100 of that $147,000, pay off the rest of the duplex that is going to maintain a rental property for us for a long time, is how I see it, and have some money left over to put down as a down payment on the next property. I guess my question is it worthwhile to just pay off the rental property, or because it's going to be a rental property, would it behoove me to buy something else with as much cash
contrary to what you've
possible?
Been doing for your entire life, what we have found is that the people who build wealth are the ones that get out of debt and stay out of debt. That is the shortest path to wealth building. It's not keeping around debt and or figuring out that some debt is good and some debt is bad and all that bull crap. Okay? So bottom line is if I'm you, my goal is to take every dollar I can get my hands on and have a paid-for house and a paid-for everything as soon as possible. Now, if that means keeping the duplex so it takes a few years to pay off the house, or a few years to pay off the duplex because you put $147,000 down on the house, that's fine. Or if it means I'm selling the duplex, taking the equity out of it, putting it with the $147,000, paying cash for a house, then I'm going to start saving to pay cash for my next rental and avoiding debt from this point forward. Yep. Either one of those plans will work for me.
That's exactly right. And Reed, you are hearing from a man that I know of that owns the most real estate possible. I know Dave. I know his heart for real estate. I know his passion for it, but I also know his philosophy, and that means with cash. And so in this, and I hear it in you. You got the propensity for some stupid. That going on, meaning in as far as jumping out and grabbing more property and more and this and that. You said you like getting your hands on things and working on it. What I want you to do is get your hands on your future. And like Dave said, 1 or 2 ways. Either hold on to the duplex, and that's going to be the slowest route. I'm going to microwave this bad boy. I'm going to sell the duplex and take that money along with the money you have saved, get in a home.
Pay cash.
And pay cash for this thing. And now moving forward, I'm not doing anything debt-related. I don't care who it's from, how good of an idea or how great of a property is. If I don't have cash, there's no chance of me taking that risk.
So
period.
I did that myself when I was 28 years old and I went broke. First thing we did was we rented for 2 years, And then we saved up and we paid cash for a house. Then I saved up, paid cash for my first rental, that go round. Now, I had $4 million worth of real estate before I went broke, but it was all leveraged and I lost it all.
Right.
But my first rental was about 32 years old. And when you have a paid for rental and you do not have a house payment and you start making just a little bit of money and you get to keep it all, except the dadgum government's part, right? But the rest of it is yours. You're not sending a bunch of it to a bank. It does not take long to buy the next rental. And by the way, both of those rentals for cash then cash flow like crazy. And that cash starts piling up. You get a snowball going here in your favor. Rental snowball, rent rates. I mean, I got so much rent coming in nowadays that I can buy another piece of property once a month from the rent that's coming in.
But how many properties did you had before it all fell in? At the height of your real estate back in the day?
Well, I've owned over 2,000 in my life, but I'm trying to think I probably owned about 100.
100.
Yeah.
So you went from
and
100
lost them all.
to zero.
Lost them all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or sold them all to keep from losing. One of the two. But I mean, they all went in that deal when I got turned up on my face out of my own stupidity, because I had the propensity, what you said, the propensity for stupidity, and I did it with zeros on the end, man. I don't do anything half butt, and when I do stupid, I even go wide open, So that's what I did. So it took the second go round was not the hare. The second go round was the tortoise.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about, Reed, is what we're describing to you is making your hair curl, because you're just like, oh, God, that sounds so slow. It is.
Yep.
It's also the wisest route. It's also the shortest route. The best way to get rich quick is get rich slow.